We are live, and we got some early plays for you guys to PimpSlap this weekend. I like that. I like that. That name. I feel like that was kind of clever. But yeah,
catchy name.
Oh yeah, it'll be with me and Mr. PimpSlap POD, and we'll be going over. One college football game each, one NFL game each, a teaser, and I'm going to kick it on off with a Friday football game, which is in the CFL. So we're going to get all the football leagues in here for the CFL, the college football, and the NFL. So I'm going to kick it on off here. This is going to be more of a quick hitting show. It's going to be a couple picks each, and we're going to be in and out of here in about 25 minutes. So we're going to kick it on off here. I don't know if Mike does as much CFL. I know you definitely do college and you do pro and you go do NFL. But we're going to kick it on off here. This game is on Friday in Montreal. We have the Alouettes and the Argonauts in this one here. The Argos are 6.5 point favorites. The total is 53 in this game. And for me, this play was kind of simple, and I'll get right into it. It's the team total over. I don't know what it is yet. The lines are not available on my book, at least. I'm going to project this to be around 29.5 to 31.5. But when we look at the Toronto Argonauts this season, every single game that Chad Kelly has played from start to finish at quarterback, they've put up at least 30 points. So this has been a play that's been a staple on my CFL card every single week for basically the entire season. This is the best offense in the CFL. And when you look at what the Alouettes have done, this team is 6-6, and the only teams they've lost to are Toronto, BC, and Winnipeg, the top three teams in the CFL. They beat the bad teams. They lose to the good teams. This is one of the top three teams. I also like the Argos laying the points here on the road, and I lean towards the over in this spot as well. So that is the CFL. I don't know, Mike, if you have any thoughts on the CFL. I don't think you do the CFL, right?
I don't do a lot of the CFL. I know that if it's a Montreal spot, I tend to fade that squad. And, from a regional perspective, Chad Kelly's a name that has been popping up all the way back to his college days. So I do know, and I'm familiar that when he certainly gets out there, he's aggressive. He kind of puts it all on the field. And, that's going to be a play to start off that I might get a nice little Friday CFL action going there.
Ooh, I like it.
It'd be one of those spots where you're giving out score updates, and I'm genuinely intrigued to see how we're doing there. So, obviously early bets, you guys know I feel the late is great. We're going to run into some spots with line movements that may or may not be there early, but at the same time, hopefully we can catch some good spots early. We caught a couple last week with college football where the point spreads moved 1-2 points, and that was the difference between winning and losing. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that one as well, Nick. I think you'll sway me over to the dark side in the CFL, and I don't see why I wouldn't jump on that team total over with you.
All right. Yeah, I love it. Love it. We'll head to the chat real quick, say hi to the people in the chat, and then we'll get into your first game, which will be a college game. K. Graham saying, pimping. Yeah, we're finding some early plays to PimpSlap there. Flea Math is going, let's get it, says Stop Geo. What is good? No, I spelled it that way on purpose, Isaacs. Yeah, I spelled it that way on purpose. Mel saying, I grabbed the Colorado minus 20.5 when the line first opened. Did you? No. I actually got 23.5 the other way. So I had that game projected around that 18.5, 19 mark. So I took the points there at Colorado State. But we're not going to talk about Colorado or Colorado State in this one. We are going to talk about, or Mike is going to first break down the Alabama Crimson Tide and the South Florida Bulls in this one here. The Tide are 32-point favorites, total 61.5. What play are we looking to PimpSlap here?
Yeah, I'll tell you, from a play perspective with Alabama, obviously last week did not go their way, and it was not the game they expected. But Nick Saban has been known to drop some games kind of in that first 7 of the season, and then he kind of goes on those runs, right? So in a situation like he was in previously in 2015, they dropped a game early in the season. They came back, won the national championship that year. 21, they were the runner-up in the national championship. That was that season where they had the Georgia SEC championship beatdown. And then they met each other again in the finals, and Georgia was able to come through. Nick Saban rolls out 25-2 when he comes off of these early season losses here over a three-pack of seasons. 15-12 against the spread on those seasons as well. So I'm not necessarily looking at the side in this thing here. Sides and totals, where I'm going to give you guys my look here is on the under. For a Nick Saban team, I didn't see there was enough of an opportunity at a 56% win after he loses position. 56% over the course of the long haul is going to certainly give you guys winners. But here, let's take a little deeper dive on this thing. And what I'm seeing here from the quarterback, in Alabama with that offensive coordinator connection is they're only 3 games together in a starting position. So, we saw that they weren't able to get the ball in the end zone with this Bama game last week. They didn't get any turnovers created on defense either. They really had a small offensive production at 3.1 yards per carry. But the under, check this number out, and this is why I like this under a lot here. The under is 1-14 to the under when Saban is coming off a loss going all the way back to 2016, as long as it's not kind of in the college football playoff time frame. So 1-14 to the under, and the margin on those unders is almost 14 points. It's 13.7. So when I look at USF, and I think these teams can score, they can score at will. They score high, generate a lot of offense in their games. But USF's coming off of 2 unders, Bama off those 2 overs. What this tells me when I break that trend down is Nick Saban finds a way to kind of go back to the basics, play strong defense coming off that loss, get your house in order, get it right, and then find a way to go out there down the course of the season to make that run and be competitive. We know that they certainly will. 30-1 to win college football championship seems like a little steep number there, but I think that he does get the house in order this week. The defense comes in and locks down USF. I don't think USF's going to be able to generate the 3-4 touchdowns that we're accustomed to seeing those guys produce. And I'm going to go with that under 61.5.
Yeah, looking at this, South Florida, I mean, they look like they put up points, but they put up 38 against the powerhouse of Florida A&M, the Rattlers. That's an FCS school for people who don't know.
Right.
And Western Kentucky, they only put up 24 points, and that Western Kentucky team is known for being a back and forth, high-powered offensive team, not as much for their defense. So South Florida does not really impress me, and I know everybody's going to look at Alabama this game, and they'll be like, Alabama's not losing 2 in a row. This one, it was a weird game because when I looked over and I started capping the card, I had to double check to make sure I had this game in the right spot. Alabama is on the road against a Group of 5 school. I don't remember the last time we've seen Alabama go to a Group of 5 school like this. So that one kind of caught my attention. Am I laying 32 points with Alabama? No. I think if you're looking to bet this game Alabama-wise, you look at the 19.5 in the first half is kind of where I would lean in this game. For them to come out, win the first half 28-0, and kind of take their foot off the pedal and win a game something along the lines of 41-3. Like, I can see something along those lines. But for me, I'm not really particularly interested in this game. But we got a little Mikey Margins action here for the under in this spot. The other game we'll go over is a SEC game for me, and this is a spot that I really do like. This line opened up around a 10 for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and it's gone down to a 9 here. And this is my dog of the week that I really like here. When I was capping this game, I had this one more along the lines of anywhere between 3.5 and 5 for the spread, and we're getting up and over the 9 here. I like Mississippi State getting the points. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this team and think that they've not been very impressive so far to start the year. They did put up 48 points and they covered, but they played the Lions of Southeast Louisiana. For people who do know that school, that's a basketball school. That's not a football school. And then they struggled in a 31-24 win over Arizona last week in overtime. But that could have been a look-ahead spot for this game. They play in South Carolina next week, Mississippi State. But I just think this line's a little bit too wide here. So I personally got in at this game when it was a plus 10. I like Mississippi State in this spot. I got them at plus 10, and I got them earlier in the week here at plus 280 as well on the money line. A little small sprinkle for a home doggy to knock off an LSU team that I'm not super impressed with. I thought they were going to be better than they were. Granted, they just dropped 72 points last week. It was against Grambling State. So once again, we see these teams beating up on these FCS schools like they should, but this is a team that I think might struggle a little bit more than with Mississippi State than we think. So I'm taking the dogs here. Mississippi State plus the 9.
37% of the bets and 42% of the cash jumping on that Mississippi State side. So we're seeing some of the bigger numbers, the bigger dollars coming in on that Mississippi State side, suggesting it's a sharp look there as well. And you guys know I'm high on LSU. I've said that earlier in the season there. That first week, I think they kind of got shook a little bit there with Florida State coming in there and kind of slapping them around. But Mississippi State is 2-0. You're getting 9.5 points, 9.5 points. Make sure you line shop. I even see a couple of 10s out there. I think you're right. That number is just a little too wide for an LSU school that really hasn't done much to impress to start this thing off here. Brian Kelly's year 2 as he's moving through this SEC, trying to make their name and a name for himself. But yeah, they beat up on Grambling. Go get them, right? I mean, at 56.5 points spread, and they got it done. But what we're seeing is when they play the big schools, they may or may not come out to shine. And I think a 9 and a 10 is probably a really good look on that spot as well, Nick.
Especially on the road. I don't trust LSU laying these type of numbers on the road as well. So we'll head back to the chat here, and then we'll head into the NFL. Stop Geo saying the books have MLB trying real hard to collect their money before the playoffs start. Orioles just got 2 hit by Rom. That's beautiful. I love hearing that. I didn't bet the game, but I'm obviously hoping for the Tampa Bay Rays to win that division. And with a win by Tampa today and a loss by Baltimore, and it's now a two-game lead for the O's, and I believe they play each other soon. So that'd be nice. There we go. Let's get it, boy. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We don't want to go that way.
Yeah. We going chasing with the Dodgers later. I stayed off that game. I wanted nothing to do with it. I leaned Dodgers, but the line moving towards San Diego kind of kept me off of LA. Any quick thoughts on that Dodger game?
I'm going to go with the under in that game. I think it's an under look with the pitching matchup that we have out there. The cash flow is moving in the direction that I wanted to see. I got 8.5 earlier today. I think I've seen some 8s out there. I haven't looked at it just recently. I've been kind of watching some of these earlier baseball games as well, but that'll be a fun little nightcap here. It's a solo spot as well. Dodgers like to come and shine when they're the only team playing, so it'll be a fun one to watch.
Oh yeah. And Sabji was saying if anyone likes alternate lines as a parlay piece, after tonight, 23 of the last 24 Blue Jays games have totaled 7+ runs.
That's an impressive little number there. Toronto definitely left it all out there in the dugout and wasn't able to bring it to the field. So
yeah, I thought Kikuchi was going to pitch better tonight. I had the first 5 under, and he gave up 6 runs. So what's good, Wine Time Sports? He's on Mississippi State as well. Let's see. Michigan/MSU homer here. I'm openly fading MSU this week. They're in shambles with their coach being fired. I thought it was suspended. Washington -16.5 is a gift. That's funny you say that because I'm on the Sparty Party +16.5 and a small little sprinkle at +550. Go green, go white, outright this week.
Wow. Yeah. Bold call of the week here.
Yeah. Yo, what it do, fellas? What is good, Stimmy OG? Tim in the chat saying, can you like both Michigan State and Michigan? That's a great question. I feel like that's saying that I feel like that's the same as someone saying, I like Carolina and Duke. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. It just doesn't.
It's one or the other. Come on.
Come on, man.
We appreciate you guys all jumping in here and joining us. Hopefully you guys are here for this quick hitter opportunity. We're trying to break this thing down fast and furious for you guys. It was an opportunity that came together on a live stream. We were texting each other over a couple of cocktails, trying to figure out how we could give you guys a little something different as opposed to just going on and throwing a 4 or 5 hour live stream together.
Yeah.
You guys see plenty of that stuff's out there, but we wanted to give you guys a couple of our early looks to PimpSlap. Love the name.
Which we're going to get to the NFL in just a second. Flea Mathers saying, Pimp, you have more success with college or NFL?
Well, that's a tough question. I week to week, it'll vary, right? If I have a strong college week, the NFL seems to be off for me and vice versa. But I started out the season pretty strong. I was happy with what happened last week in both college and the NFL and hoping to carry forward. Did some preseason capping in the NFL this year to get that season right off of week 1. I had some confidence at the plays I had. We won't talk about those New York Giants, but a lot of games for the college board too.
We will not. That's not one of the games we have assigned, so we will keep that team off of our show. What's up? What's good, Jojo Rabbit? But we will head into the NFL. My game has the other New York team, but we're going to go with your game first here. We have the Washington Commanders and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 3.5-point favorites here in this one. Total of 39 in this spot. Where are you looking here?
Yeah, short and sweet on this guy here. I'm leaning to the under. We've got one of the lowest unders on the card, 39 points right now, and it's continuing to drop. I've seen some 38 and a halves kind of tick out there as well. So, nice part about the NFL as opposed to the grind of baseball every day is we get an opportunity to see those lines early and can kind of put the models together to try to figure out where those numbers fall. But another number that jumped out at me was Denver is in a situation where they're coming off a game where they were a favorite of 2 points or more. The following week is 25 unders in a row. 25 unders in a row. That's a situation where they're going under the margin by almost 11. They were a minus 3-point favorite last week. Kind of tells me that this team kind of looks at that. They get a little confidence, albeit they lost to Vegas last week, right? We saw this Vegas spot where Vegas put them down 17-16. That was a game where there was only 10 points scored in the second half, and Denver only contributed 3 of them. I'm not a big Russell Wilson fan, but on the other side of the ball, Washington, Arizona, some short circuiting on that Washington offense. They should have put the throttle down on Arizona. And in fact, they've trailed a good number of times in that game as well. 20-16 final, 10 points in the fourth quarter is what led to that Washington lead. There was 3 field goals predominantly through the entire game. So 2 very low scoring productions last week. Literally one team with 33 points, the other with 36 points, with that 25 trend of 25 straight unders going all the way back to October 2017. Give me that under 39 for this Denver Broncos Washington Commander spot.
Yeah, and I'm very happy they didn't punch in a few of those scores because I was able to cash a ticket with Arizona +7 last week against these Commanders. I stayed off of that Broncos game, but the more and more I'm looking at this game, I wanted that under. The one thing that kept me off this under, and I hate when I look at the ticket numbers and I see this one specific number, 73% of the tickets are on the under, 99% of the cash is on the under. That's an automatic no thank you. If I see that, I don't bet it. I won't. I won't. But the more and more I'm looking at this feels like a public road underdog in this game with the Washington Commanders taking the 3.5 points. I'm interested in Denver in this spot. I think that Denver is the better team still. I'm not sold on Sam Howell, and I really like the Denver Broncos defense. So maybe a Commanders team total under could be a decent look in this game. I think the Broncos win and cover this game. That's kind of where I'm looking at this spot. My turn now. We have the other New York team against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, this one is a crazy game, and I wanted to talk about this one just because of how this line has gone. It is 9.5 for the Dallas Cowboys in this game with a total of 37.5 in this game. Now, I bet this game yesterday. I got a 10 with the New York Jets in this game. I'm on the Jets plus the 9.5 in this spot. If you wanted to bet this game preseason before week 1, it was Cowboys minus 2.5. If you wanted to bet this after the Sunday night football game, it was Cowboys minus 2.5. If you wanted to bet this after the Sunday night football game, it was Cowboys minus 3.5. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. It's Zach Wilson, and the line moves 6 points. That is entirely too many points, especially with what maybe I'm crazy. I kind of believe in Zach Wilson. I think that he kind of had his get his mind right or whatever when he was benched numerous times last year. They brought in Aaron Rodgers this year for him to learn under as well. I think that having Aaron Rodgers in his ear is actually going to be pretty good, as like Aaron Rodgers is going to be kind of like the quarterback coach now for the Jets with him on the sideline. And with the defense that the Jets have, this is just entirely too many points in my opinion. With the Jets, I got double digits with them plus 10. This will be one of my picks for the Cappers contest on Pub Sports Radio. I like the Jets getting all of these points this week.
I felt like I could hear you saying that when you texted me your plays earlier. I felt like I heard you saying, we saw how Dallas kicked the shit out of the New York Giants. There's no way they lose. And then the Jets have no quarterback. There's no way they win. I felt like I could hear you saying that when I saw that. And talk about turning into the storm here, taking an opportunity where the number might not be indexed right. We're going to see, with Wilson kind of getting that bench, coming and getting his opportunity. He was drafted high. He was a guy that they looked to. Obviously, you get an opportunity to bring in Aaron Rodgers. You got to take advantage of it, but it's a shot. He's back, and you're going to lay down 10. I could see that the Cowboys team kind of overlooking the spot. The only concern I have there is the Jets coming off that big outright in overtime against Buffalo. But what I did see in that game is the defense was able to really shut down that Buffalo Bills offense that some had predicted to go pretty far this year. It's not over yet in Buffalo, but certainly the Jets might be able to make me happy and see those Cowboys take a loss. So at least not cover, right? At least not get that cover and let's go Jets.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, this total is a 37.5. I lean under. I do lean under with these two defenses. The Cowboys, I think, are a top 5 defense in football, and I think the same with the Jets. Now, obviously, we can have turnovers because Zach Wilson is capable of turning the ball over, and we all know Dak Prescott is as well. So turnovers could lead to short fields, which could lead to points in this game, but I do lean towards the under. It's a really low total of 37.5. But I also lean towards the under, which I feel gives a better look towards the points here in this spot as well. We'll quickly head to the chat, and then we will get into we'll tease the final section here of the show a little bit as well. We'll have to make them wait here. K Graham saying the Broncos win. I lean towards that way as well. I have a feeling I might get involved in them, especially if they drop down to a 3. Stop Geo saying I just meant I'm from here and I'm fading my hometown team. If I choose, I'd be Michigan between the two. I'm not a fan of college like I am other sports. Fair. Broncos defense going to do work on Howell. Yeah, I think we might see a game where the Commanders score 10, something along the lines of 17-10, 17-13, something along those lines. Sapchi is saying, I'm coming around slowly but surely. The last year or two at college basketball is more watchable a lot of the times than damn NBA. Absolutely. I will take college basketball over NBA any day of the week.
I'll tell you what, though, shout out to the ownership group and their decision in the NBA to reduce the number of games a player can sit. They can't have more than one star. And they defined what that star is, being able to sit for any particular game. So that load management era is hopefully finding a way to kind of whittle itself down. There were just a lot of meaningless NBA games and not fair to the fans. You go to a game, you want to see the star players come out there and then you don't see them. I remember as a Sabres fan growing up when the Sabres were kind of in the doghouse back in the Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr era. Those guys just wouldn't show up to play in Buffalo. It was like they just deemed it. And again, it was just a slight as a fan to say, why can't these guys come to town? So shout out to the NBA. Hopefully they're getting their hands back around it.
Yeah, but I have a feeling we're going to see the teams go through a little loophole. How often will we see if Kawhi Leonard's healthy, he'll go on the court, intentionally foul 10 seconds in, sit on the bench the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see.
Technically, they played. Technically,
they put their shoes on at least.
Yeah. K Graham saying under. I agree with that. Tim saying JETS, Jets, and Wilson we trust. I feel so bad for Jets fans. I really do.
That's a tough spot to happen, man. I mean, that's like
gone in 60 seconds.
Literally,
Aaron Rodgers story.
It was like 3 or 4 plays into the season, and all that hype. I was watching the interviews that he gave before the game as well. He's excited to be there, and then he gets taken out like that. Reminiscent of the Niners versus the Eagles in the playoffs last year. So at least they had a chance to have the season. So
Isaac saying Jets can't have nice things. No, they cannot.
No, they
Cowboys will destroy the Jets. Tim might have to put Isaacs in timeout. I heard on the radio this morning that teams that have lost their QB1 the next game win like 66% of the time, or probably cover, I'm guessing. But yeah, I can see that for sure because they'll rally around the backup or the line just inflates like we saw with this one.
Right.
Is Aaron Rodgers really worth 6 points?
Almost a touchdown. I mean, that's going to be an interesting number to see. That'll be a fun game to watch.
Oh yeah.
We're back in football mode. Can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait for the weekend.
Yeah. Wilson will throw 5 pick sixes. All right. That's sorry. I had to put ice and timeout. This is a pro Jets chat. Fair. I will be playing Stacy's mom as I cash my Jets ticket at the window. Tim saying play the Wilson clip. So we will play Stacy's mom has got it going on.
I mean, he's got the gritty down.
Got to give the people what they want. And K Graham saying lots of field goals in that Dallas game. I can see that as well. But we kind of teased the last section here because it's teaser time. we are going to be giving out one two-team teaser for 2 NFL games, because you shouldn't be teasing college games. The only place that's really worth teasing is the NFL. We'll kick it off with Mike here. What is your 2-team teaser?
Yeah, so it's funny, and you'll see some potential similarity in thinking process here, but I went with 2 games here with the New England Patriots at a +9 and the Bears at +8.5. So you guys, I talked to you guys about these trends when they're available. And, here's a situation where Bill Belichick, when he's coming off a game where he lost by a margin of less than 7 points, he's 15-7 in that next game. But when you add the teaser to it, when you get the 6 points on the teaser side of things, move it up to 9, he goes to 18-4, winning at an 81.4% rate. I liked what I saw last week out of Mac Jones. 316 passing yards. That game was raining upside down. I mean, it was crazy. It was unbelievable, sloppy conditions as could be. He threw up that early interception. It really wasn't his fault. He's playing the world champion or future world champion Philadelphia Eagles, but it was also a situation where, there was a popped up ball that should have been batted down and not up. So I liked what I saw out of Mac Jones. I like the fact that in this Bill Belichick spot coming off that loss, that margin goes up to 81.4% success. And I just did not like what I saw out of Tua. I know Tua had that huge game. I'm going to discount that, and I'll tell you why I'm going to discount that. If you watch that game, I unfortunately had to, because a Miami friend of mine was over, and Tua threw a ton of balls into triple coverage, a lot of concussion type passes across the middle, to the point that we were kind of laughing, saying that he was trying to give the guys payback for letting him get concussed so many times last year. And that's just not a sustainable trajectory or path for success against Bill Belichick. The other side of things with the Bears, kind of the same look here, coming off of a loss as an away dog now with less than 7 points. Their NFL spot of 57-35. If you add the 6 points to it, that number goes to 71-22. It's a 76% win rate or cover rate with that extra 6 points. Away dogs in a total that's less than 50.5, 809 and 252 when it follows this criteria in the teaser spot. Justin Fields, right? 59 rushing yards last week. The reason the Bucs ended up winning that game and surprising everybody is, as Baker said, they were tipping passes. They were seeing that they were tipping passes from, what's his name there in the backfield. So I draw the blank on the name here at the moment, but they kind of caught the play scheme, the Vikings. Thank you, Kirk Cousins, right? They saw Cousins. They saw what he was doing in the second half. And, Chicago got beat down by 4 touchdowns, and the adjustments at halftime hurt them the most. So I like that spot. Bears at +8.5. I think we see Fields on the ground game. I don't think they're going to be able to tip the passes as much as they were seeing it this previous week. So New England +9, Bears +8.5.
Yeah, I'm on a similar page here. I'll go to mine. The Bears are a part of mine as well. And for me, it's one of those situations where I'm going to be taking both these teams, like straight up money lines as well. The Bears and the Steelers. The Bears +8.5, and the Steelers, you can get them from a 2 to an 8. And for me, there was only 3 teams that qualified for my teaser numbers that I use. Actually, there's 4 teams, but 2 of them I don't like this week. The 4 teams that qualified, one right now is the Houston Texans. And the other one I did not use is the San Francisco 49ers. I lean Rams and I lean Colts in those games. So I stayed off of those 2. The ones that I lean towards, or the ones I'm going to be betting that qualify, were the Bears and the Steelers here, because when I'm looking at underdogs to tease, I need them anywhere between 1.5 and 2.5, because I get through the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 7 when I do it. And that is, and the other qualification is the total is less than 49.5. I want low variance, and I want through the key numbers. So these were the 2 that I like that qualified for it. Both these teams are coming in off of getting double-digit losses, which I believe the last couple years, teams in week 2 off of double-digit losses are 9-3-1 ATS. So bounce back spots, and I believe since, forgot the year, like 2010 or 2013, they're like 53-33-1, something along those lines. They're hitting it over 60% if you back teams that lost by double digits the previous week. So I'm looking at the Steelers up through the 3, 4, 6, 7 up to an 8. from a 2, and the Bears at 2.5 up through those key numbers as well.
Can't be mad at that either. Steelers, tough spot, divisional dogs. And you got the divisional favorite coming in on the road. That's a tricky spot for the Browns to show what they can do it again 2 weeks in a row, and you get that 8, like that number 2. Good look.
Yeah, we'll head out over to the chat, and then we will head on out here. Where do we leave off? There we go. Yeah, it's a win outright. But that's it. They rally around the QB. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Tim saying his teaser would be the Jets plus 15.5 and the Bills minus 2.5. That's a 7-point teaser. I'm guessing because that is the Bills are 9.5, Tim. So if the Bills were 8.5, they probably would have made my teaser. So yeah. Stop Gio saying I took them 9 innings and 2 outs, but they cashed that Blue Jays Rangers over 8.
Oh.
There you go. I lost the first 5 under on a 2-run shot and the 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Mike M has never met Stacy's mom.
Mikey D. Shout out to you stopping by, our guy.
Appreciate it. Stop Geo saying Eagles -1, Bills -2.5. Once again, the Bills are a 9.5. So if you're 6-point teasing it, that would get it to a 3.5. But I'm gonna say no to that one. But in my defense, I grabbed 7.5 with the Vikings a couple days ago. They're now below that touchdown. So I got the hook with the touchdown there with the Vikings tomorrow. Tim liking the Vikings money line tomorrow. I'm not betting the money line, but I do think it's going to be a closer game than people think. Because the Vikings were another team where I kind of want to back them after a bad loss in week 1. Jets plus 14.5, Lions -2.5, plus 119. I like the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks will be a contest pick for me potentially as well. That line, if you bet it after the Thursday night game, was a 2.5, and now it's up to a 5.5. Actually, it's down to a 5 now. I need to bet that sooner rather than later because it's starting to drop again. But yeah, I'm leaning towards the Hawks in that one. Primetime Kirk Cousins money line. I think that's an overblown narrative because when you play primetime games, you play against good teams. So he's probably a dog in most of those games as well. So first sack, Dallas -130. That's interesting. It's not a bad look. Best survivor spot. I want to say the Giants off of an embarrassment loss week 1 playing the Arizona Cardinals. That would be my lean is towards the Giants in this one. What's your thoughts on a teaser or on a survivor spot?
Wow. I mean, a couple different ways to look at it, right? I always like to look at the teams that have the biggest spreads out there. You've got the Cowboys and the Bills in that spot. But I don't know if I'd want to use those teams just yet. They're still trying to figure things out too. I also think about this trying to just fade bad teams, right? So Arizona is a team I want to fade this year as much as I can. Also Tampa Bay, again, despite that win that they had last week, overreaction time. If you look at the players up and down, I said it last week as well. Tom Brady knew to get the hell out of Dodge because that team's in trouble. And they caught a break last week to get that W against a poor Kirk Cousins led team and a bad performance. So those are kind of some spots that you might want to think about as well. But the name of the game, obviously you got to win to advance, but you got to
look at favorites, not dogs. Yeah.
You got to save some spots and you certainly don't want to play divisional dogs on the road. That might be another spot that I would look away from as well. So not a specific play, but to give you guys a couple things to think about as you're trying to make your picks.
Yep. Eagles smash the Vikings, right? I think the Eagles win by a field goal tomorrow. I think that they win by 3 to 6 points. My thoughts.
We got a big live stream tomorrow night. We're going to be Thursday night football live streaming. You'll hear the detailed breakdown and analysis from a lot of great cappers that'll jump on and give some of their thoughts. I've got a couple of looks on the game as well. And it doesn't have anything to do with Jalen Hurts winning the MVP this time around. So we'll save that one in our back pocket as a future ticket. But should be a lot of fun. Should be a great game. Eagles, they're wearing the green with the white pants. We know what happens in that situation. And Kirk Cousins is in prime time. Look out. Put him on notice.
Yeah, Dale Fick saying, I can hear Dave yelling, the teaser section. It's nice to be able to explain a teaser and how I approach teasers without being yelled over. It's great. Jojo Rabbit saying, yes, I like the Steelers here. They'll adjust at home. Browns are the Browns. For me, it's backing a team off of a double-digit loss. Like that's kind of, you just got your ass kicked, and I like them in their spot. Flea Mathis, Giants or Chargers for Tim. Interesting Chargers there. Buffalo is minus 8.5 on DK. All right, fair.
I see some people talking about that Viking situation. I don't know if you guys looked at the injury report or not. I did. The center is officially inactive for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oof.
Going to be a tough day for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that line has not moved at all. And if anything, it's continuing to move towards the Vikings, actually, because now it's up to 6.5 juice towards the Vikings. So, sorry, Mike. Vikings by double digits. There you go, Tim. Shout out to Teaser Dave. I know this is his favorite segment. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to our guy, Dave.
Yeah. Hawkinson, 1 touchdown plus 210, 2 touchdowns, 18-1.
Wow.
Fair. Vikings O-line going to get eat up by that Philly D-line. I also like the under. I like the under in the game. Primetime under, first half, full game.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I'm 5-1 playing first half full game unders on primetime games so far. So they've been reports that the Jets are planning to contact Tom Brady in case he wants to play with the Jets. That's how you prove you're the true GOAT, and that's how we're going to end the stream there.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, but this has been the first edition of Early Plays to PimpSlap. You can follow both Mike and I on Twitter at PimpSlapPod for Mike over there, and for me at Nicholas_Earle. Anything you want to say before we head on out for this one?
Just want to say thanks to everybody that showed up today. And if you guys like this kind of stuff and want to see some more creative content, like it and retweet it for us. Let everybody know that we're here. We're trying to give you guys some quick hitters, some shorts, if you will, to be able to try to get the cards finalized for the weekend, or at least get some early looks, as some of you guys have parlay teasers at work to put together. You've got live bets to get on. You've got pick'ems, and we're here to grind and help you guys try to find that cash. So appreciate you showing up tonight. A lot of fun. Let's see how we do. I get nervous about the early looks because I think late is great, but we are on our way. We've got our first package of plays in the book, and thanks everybody for showing up.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you guys all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week. We'll be doing this every single Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Early Plays to PimpSlap with me and Mr. PimpSlap POD. Good luck, everybody.